Did you know the juice from bluebell flowers was used historically to make glue?
Ah,
Bro, what can be better than sitting in this garden and smelling these flowers?
yeah, these roses I'm smelling are amazing.
Speaking of rose, in this video, we'll be talking about the parts of a flower.
What is a flower? The seed bearing part of a plant consisting of reproductive organs, stamens, and carpels that are typically surrounded by a brightly colored corolla, petals, and a green calyx, sepals.
Parts of a flower. The main flower parts are the male part called the stamen and the female part called the pistil. The male part consists of the anther and the filament. The female part consists of the stigma, style, and ovary. Other parts of the flower are the petals, the sepal, receptacle, and peduncle. By the way, to remember the male parts of the flower, just remember that men is in stamen. Just wanted to show you a representation of what we're speaking about. So you have the stigma, the style, the sepal, the ovary.
The petal, the anther, the filament, and the receptacle. The stamen. The male reproductive part of a flower. The stamen consists of a long slender stalk, the filament with a two-lobed anther at the tip. The anther consists of four sac-like structures, microsporangia, that produce pollen for pollination. Small secretory structures, called nectaries, are often found at the base of the stamens. They provide food rewards for insect and bird pollinators. All the stamens of a flower are collectively called the androecium.
The pistil. Pistil, the female reproductive part of a flower. The pistil, centrally located, typically consists of a swollen base, the ovary, which contains the potential seeds or ovules, a stalk or style arising from the ovary, and a pollen receptive tip, the stigma, variously shaped and often sticky.
Functions of different parts, namely the
Anther,
filament,
stigma,
style,
ovary,
petal,
sepal,
receptacle.
and peduncle.
The anther, the part of the stamen where pollen is produced.
The filament. Filaments exist to carry nutrients to the anther where pollen develops. After the flower opens, the lengthening filaments facilitate access to anthers and pollinating agents like bees.
The stigma, the top of the female part of the flower which collects pollen grains.
The style. The style of a flower is the stalk that supports the stigma and connects it to the ovary.
The ovary. The ovary contains ovules which develop into seeds upon fertilization. It also produces the female sex cells contained in the ovules.
The petal. Petals, collectively called the corolla, may be brightly colored to attract insects.
The sepal. The initial function of sepals is to provide support and protection for a flower bud as they close up around until it's ready to bloom.
The receptacle. A receptacle sits at the top of a stalk underneath the main portion of a flower. It is often enlarged to support the weight of a flower or the fruit when it develops. Its main function is to both connect the stalk to the flower and to support the flower.
The peduncle. The main function of the peduncle is to support inflorescence, the thickened part of a stem from which the flower grows.
An amazing fact about flowers. There are a number of flowers that bloom exclusively during the night, commonly referred to as moonflowers. The most well known is perhaps the tropical white morning glory Ipomea alba. This nocturnal flowering climbing plant has fine stems and tubercular roots. The Ipomea alba flowers close during the day but by nightfall bloom in all their glory.
So, why do they bloom at night? These fragrant nocturnal plants pollinate via nocturnal animals. They take advantage of the night to secrete aromas and attract nocturnal pollinators such as bats, butterflies, or moths to help them spread seeds in the wild. Stay tuned for Medit Bro's next video.